Welcome to Intimacy, featuring the works of Mary Heebner. Hopefully you've already seen our book video where we show you the over half dozen books that we have of Mary's work. And this will bring you along with me to explore the two featured books that we have of Mary's, which are Intimacy, Drawn from Light, Drawing from Stone, and Cassandra, which is on the table next to me, along with its banner image, Crouching Aphrodite. But before we get into all of that, just a quick word from Mary.
Hi, I'm Mary Heebner, welcoming you to the exhibition Intimacy. I'm speaking to you from my studio in Santa Barbara, and I wanted to give the opportunity to thank Bromer for inviting me to this exhibition of my fine art books and collages, and also thank Meredith and Shannon and Phil for their work in installing and creating videos and promoting this exhibition. My fine art books all come out of handmade paper, collages, and drawings and sketches that I do while I'm on the road traveling. And 2020 is the 25th anniversary of Simplemente Maria Press. So it's really a nice occasion to have this exhibition. The collages are made with handmade paper, varieties of textured surfaces that I manipulate, and I work in a variety of sizes, quite large, and then the little gems, which are quite small. And sometimes an idea comes that suggests a book, and it's usually a way of combining my writing with my imagery, and a book seems a natural way to do that. So in this exhibition, what is featured are two major books, Intimacy, Drawing with Light, Drawn from Stone, and Cassandra, both of which rely deeply on work from antiquity, the work that I've been doing, drawing and sketching and making handmade paper with watermarks based upon antiquities. So I hope you enjoy this exhibition and take a look online at the videos and the individual pieces. And thank you very much for coming.
Mary thinks of herself both as an artist and a book artist. And the books come from really as journals of her experiences, of her travels, of the things that interest her, the writing, the sketching that she does while she's abroad. And she uses the phrase bridging word and image. You'll find that in Cassandra and in Intimacy behind me, where it's a true collaboration of all sorts of media, things like poetry and other text, things like marble, metal, drawing, printing. It's all part and parcel of the package and the story that Mary is always trying to tell. And we see that in all of her collages. So we'll start, as I have said, with the huge collages that come from Cassandra. You will see them on the walls behind me. And they come really organically, just as the books do, out of Mary's love of paper. She's been making paper since the 1980s, and all of the marbling and the different colors and textures involved in all of these collages are either handmade or hand-altered by Mary. You'll see also digital printing, inks, graphites, painting are all involved in these mixed media images. And thus they really become these found objects, these sort of incredible discovery pieces where you peel back more and more layers, as we see in the Veiled Woman over here, or with Dionysus, where there's always something new to look at, but it all is part of the same story and the same narrative. Her fascination with the classical world and with the human figure is really what binds this whole exhibit together. So you'll notice a lot of faces, a lot of expressions in these Cassandra images, really trying to capture that brief moment, that brief feeling in the ancient statuary But as we move through the exhibit, you'll see other parts of the body as well and find them just as expressive. On the walls around me are 4 of Mary's Venus paintings, in which she takes pieces of ancient sculptures of the goddess Venus and creates multimedia deep collages. You'll notice about all of these, and this is true of all of the Venus paintings in the series, is that they don't feature faces. You won't see any sort of facial expressions, no suggestion in eyes or mouth of happiness or sadness or power or fear. Instead, all of those things are bound up in the goddess's torso and in her hands and arms. It's a way of expressing and capturing, for Mary, emotion, of capturing power, of capturing the dynamism of the goddess herself, and also of the human form, of the way that women are interpreted. And these layers of interpretation and of meaning, this sort of creation without face, builds right into her passion for collage, which we've already seen previously, again with all handmade elements, handmade papers, handmade hand-rendered paints and hand-altered inks and graphite, to really emphasize what she wants to emphasize. There's a tenderness in these images, so that the goddess feels touchable, feels real, feels like a body you know. But at the same time, because they don't have faces, because they don't have anything identifying about them, we find that there's a distance as well, which Mary is really fascinated with capturing in this series. And that plays off of those Cassandra collages, which we've seen previously. The third series of collages that we're thrilled to bring you are called The Little Gems. We have 10 of them here, and they embrace both Mary's papermaking abilities and her belief in what she calls using all the parts of the buffalo. They are really found objects from her own studio. The red paper and the wax tissue and the graphite come from her Hamlet edition. The blues and the marbled papers come from Apsara, which is the book on the Hindu Puranas myth. And the bodies come from Intimacy, which we featured ourselves. So there are these really kind of joyful, celebratory pieces on paper, on nothing being left behind or forgotten, even in the artist's own work, even over a 40-year span, as opposed to the millennia that we've seen in these other collages, in her interest in more archaeological and classical ideas. So we're right back where we started, next to Crouching Aphrodite and Cassandra, which together really are an amalgamation of Mary's paper works and her interest in texts and textures and layers featured throughout the show. We do hope to open in conjunction with Boston retail businesses whenever that happens, but until then, we look forward to bringing you other virtual content like artist discussions, interviews, and spotlight features. To keep up with all of that, to be on our mailing list, do follow the links in the description or reach out to us by phone or by email anytime during the week. And until then, we look forward to seeing you soon.